All right. So Corey, Malcolm from the Austin African American Business Networking Association, the Austin corridor of Chicago, are going to work with us through this demo of the web mapping, the business and property inventory for the corridors. Corey is sharing a screen here. We're going to get right into it. With this mapping, it's not, I hope, terribly complicated or difficult, but it's not the prettiest thing, and it does have its bugs and challenges. So hoping to troubleshoot anything that comes up here, and hope this will be helpful as a video others might watch. And yeah, so Corey, if you could go ahead and sign in. This is the National Trust ArcGIS page. Corey's already got his credentials saved here. And if folks ever have issues, including you, Corey, including you, Malcolm, with login information, I can reset password. I'm the guy there, so just let me know if issues arise. And Corey, yeah, sorry just to do all the talking here, but if you can go ahead and click on groups, I think you should see the Chicago West Southwest Austin Corridor Inventory Group. I've created a group for all of the corridors where we've done some mapping so far. When you click on that, you'll see there's 5 things here on the recently added content. Only 4 of which are actually things that you should really worry about ever clicking on. Actually, only 3. So this is a clunky thing with the interface. You see those 2 sort of thumbnail images that don't have a background. Those are actually the underlying data that's going on the map. So you don't really ever have to click through any of those things. You're editing that data, the one you just moused over, Corey, when you're looking at the web map. So you have a dashboard, you have a property and business inventory, that's the editable map. And then I just created a new web app, map app, which this all gets super confusing, where you can download the data. If you want to download the full set of attributes, everything you've entered, it created a kind of a shortcut for doing that. So for now, I think if you scroll down, Corey, I think that if you click on that bottom one, I believe that is the map that we are going to edit. So you go over to Open and Map Viewer Classic on the top right. Pretty uncomfortable with being the only one who's doing all this talking. So Corey, go off mute if anything comes up that's challenging you, or Malcolm, if you want to jump in and you know, give me the business about anything with this, because it's not perfect. We're working on it. So thank you, Corey. Pretty good snapshot of the Austin corridor on Chicago Avenue, showing all these various layers. Right now, this map is showing, you know, crimes reported between March of 2020 and March of 2021. We're going to edit a lot of this stuff and make it more functional and more useful for the purposes of sort of keeping track of the corridor. The main thing I want to do during this call and this sort of training session, awkward as it may be, is actually to edit the property and business information for a particular spot on the corridor. So Corey, do you happen to know, you said there's a business you wanted to add to the map, or property information you wanted to add to the map. Do you happen to know the street address for that particular place?
Yes, I believe that I have not uploaded the information for 5820 West Chicago Avenue.
So you can click through, you can zoom in and out on the map, or you can actually, in the top right over there, it says find address or place. I'm pointing at my screen like that's meaningful. That's clever of me. You can actually type in the address right above where your cursor is. There's a search bar. So if you go to that search bar and type in the address, it should take you right to that particular spot, and it does predict it in a nice way. That part works well. So you can click on that particular spot, that kind of lavender colored spot there, and then click that edit button at the bottom of that window. That'll change the color slightly, and this is the main piece of it. So you can scroll through here. I don't know if there's particular information you wanted to add. Looks like you have the property owner. It's already got the zoning, property incentives. I think almost every field you can edit. You can type in whatever you want, and it'll save it. So yeah, if you take it away and type in phone number, business name. I don't know what information you have in mind.
Yeah, this is pretty easy.
And I don't know if it's, Sankofa Cult Arts, I assume, is probably culture and arts of some sort. You can always change the name of the property owner. I can't remember. This might have been something that appeared in shorthand in the inventory that y'all sent over. It might have been something even that I pulled from the city records. I'm not totally sure. But if you want to edit that, you certainly can do that. Okay, the man himself.
You know, I'm not even sure the property owner. So
Okay.
how about we?
That's all right.
It's actually Sankofa Cultural Arts Center that owns that.
Okay.
I don't own it. I'm just in here and paying the bills.
I feel like I know you. I feel like I know you, Malcolm. Sorry if I'm being too casual with you here. Okay, so you got the business owner, you got the business type, you got the name of the business. That's all great. Do you feel like other is the right category there? You might, click on that, see if there's something that fits it better. It could be a nonprofit organization. I don't know whether that feels better. Yeah, arts focus, that's great. So range of options there. If you want to enter all that information. Yeah, what do you say, Malcolm?
Oh, there's a slot to add in numerous businesses, because in this building, there's quite a few businesses. Okay, I see that. Yeah, there's quite a few businesses in the building. Oh, I see. Okay, cool.
Corey's on top of it. So as you look through these lists, respecting the fact that you're the Austin African American Business Networking Association, I'm really keen to see, there is a box for is the business Black owned, and there's actually a ton of yes/no questions for each business. I think it's is the business Black owned? Is it Middle Eastern, North African owned? Is it Latino, Hispanic owned? Is it LGBTQ owned? Is it family owned? Is it veteran owned? We have so many questions. You can answer no to all of them, but there are so many. I would not be surprised if no one enters no and they only enter yes when they know that it's true for one of those. So you don't have to enter information for every box by any stretch of the imagination, but I think when we come through and look at like the dashboard view of the map, it would be great to know, for instance, you could have that number, and we can go through this in a second, but we can set it up so you can basically see the number of Black-owned businesses that have been identified in the corridor, and that'll update every time you add you check yes on one of these boxes, which I think could be really, really great if I understand things right. Yeah, so other things here. So is the business owned by someone from the neighborhood? That's another really good yes/no question. The location type we have set up as, is it a storefront? Is it an office that doesn't have a storefront? We have spaces here for if it's a home-based business, which probably won't be the case for a lot of these properties since they're on the corridor, but might come up sometimes. And then mobile business, probably even less likely to check that, but we wanted to present the option. And shared storefront, I imagine that would be sort of like if there's one entryway and then there's multiple commercial tenants, commercial operations within a single, shared storefront space. So yeah, that's great. The question you're kind of mousing over there, Corey, is also really important. Is the owner willing to participate in the SMS survey? So that is this question, once we get businesses, we have to have businesses opting in to participate, but we're hoping that a bunch of business owners, a lot of business owners across the 12 corridors will be interested in participating. This is something where we'll send out a text message on a monthly basis, something like 4 or 5 questions. It'll be tailored to the corridor. and just really aiming to see how business is going, what challenges people are having, what sort of trainings or technical assistance they're interested in receiving, so that we can understand how Invest Southwest is going for, for businesses that have been operating these corridors for a long period of time, or, businesses of a particular type, if restaurants or retailers are doing better or worse as Invest Southwest goes along. All really useful information for, I think, for you all to know, for the business owners to hear from each other about, and for the city to know as the program continues. So I don't know whether, for this particular business, you have permission to, or that the business owner is willing to participate, but that's another yes, no box. If you do say yes, please do make sure to enter the mobile phone number for that business on the line below it, so that we know who to text. But I think that's kind of the bulk of it. There was some other property information at the top of the set of information. That was stuff like, is the property for lease? Is it for sale? Are there plans for the property's development? There parking spaces. We can definitely add more blank fields for you all in Austin if there are things that you want to keep track of. I feel like I say it all the time, but for Urban Maine, for the Main Street America, our purpose is to provide you some support and provide you some tools and resources as you do the work that you do. So if questions arise, things you want to make sure you're able to filter by or anything like that, just let us know, and we can build extra stuff in. The same goes for other corridors. So Corey, you feel like that's the information you wanted to add for this property?
Yeah, it seems that I have gone in here. There's so many. I thought I hadn't, put in any information for this one. But I see that I did go through and complete some of the information, and like I said, I do plan to take one of the days out this week and fill in more of this inventory. But the information that you just gave me, I feel a lot more comfortable using it, and a lot more knowledgeable about how this information goes into play, or how it will be used. So thank you for that, Mike.
That's great. Number of businesses might be one I'm just seeing as you're talking. That sounds like one that you may be able to enter pretty easily. It's one I've kind of overlooked a lot in this stuff, but so if you know that there are 2 businesses at that property, or 3, I don't remember, you can enter that there. And that can be something useful later that we could actually set up to have a really good tally of the number of businesses total across the corridor. And even, if you're especially interested in Black-owned businesses or African-American-owned businesses, we could basically calculate the % of the businesses that were kind of set as Black or African-American-owned, which I think could be a powerful piece of information. So number of storefronts, do you actually mean that are there 3, with storefronts, I mean basically doorways into a commercial space. Are there 3 doorways into commercial spaces, 3 separate entrances to the property?
Yes, there is.
Okay, great. Perfect. Other notes on the property is another, building condition, all these things. Folks can look through these, but it's just sort of totally up to you. Proper building condition, that's kind of from your perspective. I don't think we'll probably go through saying, to people what is excellent and what is poor. I think that's subjective and up to you to decide. Other notes on the property is one thing, and there's a notes field for the property. There's also a notes field for the businesses. I set this up so you can type in, I think it's 500 characters or something. You can type in all kinds of information on either of those spaces, and that can be sort of a catch-all. So, if you knew that you had talked to the business owner or the property owner for that particular place about, some initiative that was upcoming, you can make a note of that here and then have that to reference later. So the only other thing here, Corey, is I say, if you scroll all the way down this thing, should be a close button at the very bottom. And there's up to 9 businesses, to answer your question, Malcolm. So if you hit close, this is the moment of truth here. It should be that if you click on that property again and you scroll down, you'll see the information you just added. It looks updated. I don't think, and this is where I'm fuzzy, I don't think you need to hit save with the map. I think it should save automatically. So if you see above the actual map itself and the sort of the interface, you see save, share, print above your cursor. I don't think you need to do that. And in fact, I think if you save it, it'll save it at this level of zoom. Yeah, actually, it's not even giving you the option. So that's clear. So I think I would actually, Corey, if you don't mind, if you go back in your browser, I recognize this is a little dangerous because it's saved. I know that it's saved, but I also am worrying that it's not saved. But so just go ahead and go back to the previous web page. And then I'm going to ask you to go to actually go back one more time. I'm going to ask you to go to the dashboard view. So go ahead and hit that. Now, what I'm hoping to see, this is when we decide whether this is a really good training or not, is if you go to that same property, and you can also still search by the property address with the sort of magnifying glass in the top right, but zooming in works just as well, obviously. You click on that parcel, however you want to get there. Okay, great, it did save. You can hear the relief in my voice. So yeah, the information successfully saved. You've updated the record. And I think if we had looked at the dashboard before, we may have seen, actually, I think you already had the property owner listed. That number in the top left of the web page that says 154 property owners identified, that number is updated every time there's not a blank for the property owner. So if you went back into the other map and you added another property owner, you should see that number going up every time you introduce another property owner name. And I can add all kinds of stuff, and I can't remember, Corey, if you have the ability. I'm happy to be the person to edit the dashboard. If you're really interested in this stuff, we can talk through building out different dashboard and stuff like that. But for the moment, I think I can add business owners identified as a different sort of numeric indicator there. I can add the Black business owners identified as a separate one. Information I'm really interested in. I don't know about you guys, but anything like that. And then another thing, so actually while we're looking at the dashboard, if you look at those pie charts on the left, Corey, and you click on any of that stuff, you can filter by property type. See, it immediately changed the properties that are showing. So these are all those that, I think with this, it's the properties that you identified as commercial, if I'm recalling correctly. So it looks like you all have done a fair bit. Yeah, Corey, you've been busy entering information. So there you got industrial, you can click through those. And you can actually do a combination. So you could click through, now you got mixed use. You could actually go to the zoning type or any of these and click the two in conjunction and see. So here are properties zone residential that you've identified as commercial, which is, interesting information. Looks like the two ends of the corridor. And one thing that I'm excited about doing, and I haven't set up yet, is one of these pie charts for properties with an identified business. So you'll be able to filter immediately and see all those places where you've added a business, versus all those places where there hasn't been a business identified. We could do that with all kinds of different things as well. So I think I'm feeling like we covered some bases here. Are you feeling clear on the dashboard, Corey? Yeah.
Yeah, this is pretty clear, and this is also pretty cool. Like I said, I messed around with it a couple of times. Really, just the edit function, as far as what you just walked me through, editing the information, properties, and this dashboard is really unique. And I like how you said there's multiple functionalities on here. And yeah, I know this will probably be a separate video, but I'm definitely interested in learning a little bit more about, you know, creating a dashboard and some of those things. Maybe that's a second video.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the advanced, that's the graduate level class. I appreciate that. So one other thing I'll show you quickly, which is the thing I just added. I think only your corridor and one other have it so far. If you go back, I think just to your other browser tab, I think that should be back on your group. And you click actually that first map. I need to change the name of this one. So this is, it's going to look almost exactly the same. This is a web map app. I really do not, a map application, but it looks almost exactly the same. The big difference here is that you can actually see the attributes as a table at the bottom. And most importantly, see it says options above and to the left where your cursor is. If you click that, you can go export all the CSV. As far as I can tell, this is the easiest way to have it. So if you want to basically download the spreadsheet version of all the information you collected, you hit OK, it'll save it. You'll ask you where to save it on your computer. Or there you go, just saved it in the browser. You can open that in Excel, and it's the same information in the spreadsheet.